Welcome to the channel. This is Holden from Classroom Camp. Today I want to give a quick reaction to a news report along with a video that was shared on BuzzFeed. And that news report is titled, "This is so effing evil." People are standing by this educator who emotionally shared how his school day was impacted by ICE raids. Now, if you're not familiar with the ICE raid situation in Los Angeles, this is the perfect video for you because I'm going to fill you in on all the details. But before we actually get into the article, quick reminder, if you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss out on all the great educational news stories I have coming your way. So let's take a look at this article. It says, ICE raids have intensified across Los Angeles since Friday, June 6th, with multiple businesses targeted and workers detained at various locations throughout the city. In response to the heightened federal activity, anti-ICE protests have erupted across LA. Tensions have only grown since then as Trump ordered 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to the city, escalating fear among residents, especially within the undocumented community, who is estimated to make up roughly 10% of the population in the nation's second largest city. For Mr. Howie, a youth educator, paraprofessional, and behavior interventionist in Los Angeles, ICE's nearby presence impacted his school day, forcing his school into lockdown and allegedly disrupting a nearby elementary school's graduation. In a tearful, emotionally raw video that's since been viewed over 16 million times, more than the entire population of LA County, Mr. Howie documented his reaction to the unfolding events. So, we're going to take a look at this video and I'm going to give you my quick reaction to what is said in the video and the situation overall. And just a trigger warning for some of you out there, this video does contain some foul language. It will be shown in the subtitles. However, I will edit out that language so you don't have to hear that. If you, are sensitive to that, you won't have to hear that in this video, but if you do go back and watch this video on TikTok or wherever else it may be found, it will include that language. So just a warning for those out there, but let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
Handle this, y'all. This is crazy, yo. I didn't think this was about to affect me like this. But our neighbor's school, y'all know I work at a school. Our neighboring school, I think it's Gratas, I don't know how to say it. It's Gratas or something like that. They were having their graduation. And there's helicopters in the sky. Most of these schools are, most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Gratas, I believe elementary, was having their graduation. And all of a sudden, a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And, I had to come outside. It's my break. We kind of got like off of a soft lockdown. And parents had to run out because they don't have papers, and they had to leave their kids because the kids do. What type of is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home. What the is this? And we voted for this. 15 people just got picked up on Wilshire at the Home Depot. On Wilshire. Yo. Man, oh my God. This is not right. This is not right, yo.
I haven't cried in a long time, and I'm not crying today, but watching this video, it does, get those tear ducts start working, because it is saddening to see people who are in this emotionally distressed state. I totally understand where he is coming from. I think that there is probably fear and uncertainty in the air. It gives me flashbacks of the last time that I went into lockdown at school, not knowing what was going on really. I had just heard certain things, and it had nothing to do with this type of situation. It was for completely different reasons. But when you don't know what's going on and you have people who are around you who are afraid, it makes you afraid. And when you don't know what the outcome is going to be, it is very scary. It's very scary. So I understand where this educator is coming from. Now, would I post a video like this on TikTok where I was using explicit language and things of that nature? I wouldn't do that. That's just me personally, because first of all, I don't use foul language at all, anyways. Believe it or not, I don't. Those words are not in my vocabulary, so I don't. You'll never catch me saying something like that. But this is a tough situation. And yesterday I talked about a political issue, and I talked about how I don't really like to cover politics, because the thing about politics and what is happening with this situation is that it is a complex issue. It's very complex, more complex that people want to recognize. Yes, it is a sad situation, and you can feel some empathy for people who may be sent back to a different country, or for the children who don't know what's going to happen to their family members. That is scary. And yes, I feel empathy for them. But also, the situation is that, at least from my perspective, it seems that the United States has been very lax on its immigration policies for a long time now. And we have a new regime of power in the government that is doing things differently and is cracking down on those issues. And unfortunately, some people are getting caught in the crossfires of that. The fact that we have so many children, and I don't know the statistics on this, this is just what I hear, but the fact that we have children who are documented with parents who are not, and it's a seems to be a systemic problem, is a systemic problem. That's just a problem that is going on. Now, is this the solution? I'm not exactly sure on that. Maybe there is a better way to handle something like this, but I don't know enough about it to speak educated, on it. I can just tell you that I believe that this is one of those things in life where there is a gray area. It's not black and white. There's a gray area, and it's tough, and you have to make tough decisions. It makes me think of like situations where, and I don't like to do this in my classroom, but for example, if I have a class that is, the majority of my class is rowdy and unruly to the point that I have trouble giving a lesson, and on that particular day, I might be in a bad mood and I decide, you're all getting recess detention. You're all getting recess detention. And some students are not part of the problem, but they get lumped in there because it's just the problem in the classroom is too great to handle on a case by case basis. There is too much that it's difficult to handle that way. That's what this kind of reminds me of, is the problem is so systemic, and there's so much to it that, people are getting caught in the crosshairs here, and it's unfortunate for them, and the fear and everything. It's sad. But I don't know what the answer to this is. Um, and I think this video is very interesting. Um, I like to know what's going on out there, and I'm glad that this was posted, because it does give us as educators some insight into something a little bit different that's going on with education. Whereas Texas is worried about teacher certification and has its own issues. You see over in California, something totally different related to education that we need to potentially look at and come up with some solutions for. So that is my reaction to this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Be sure, remember, if you like this video, consider hitting that like button and also subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on all the great educational news stories I have coming your way. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for you in this one. See you in the next one.